my people, and welcome back to another Inktober video. It is the second week of October, or we just ended the second week of October, and I'm going to share with you the next chunk of prompts. So here we have the prompt throw, and I think this one is absolutely adorable. So we have our two spacefaring dude guys in outer space fixing or working on their ship, and we have one tossing to the other a wrench through space in zero gravity. And I don't know, there's just something cute and charming about it. These two characters are absolutely amazing. And at this point, I hadn't done a whole lot of full black background washes yet, so I really like the contrast. And I love this one. It's great, and it was a lot of fun. And I really, really, really like how the platypus's face came out. He's having fun. He's having fun, and I love it. Our next prompt was hope, and the idea is that our little cadets here are missing some materials that they need, and they are using their sensors and have found, hopefully, a planet that has what they need for resources. And on this planet, this one was fun because we have, of course, both characters together again. They're not in their spacesuit, they're in their normal clothes. And I had a lot of fun doing the alien language kind of shapes. I tried to make sure that they were reminiscent of the alien language on the sides of the spaceship. And I wanted to make them look concerning, especially, the one in the triangle. I'm trying to make it look like a warning. And I wanted to make sure that the pinpointing symbol that was showing you where on the planet what they needed was clear and all of that. Towards the end, when I got out the white gel pen, I actually went through and added a bunch of other little scribbles and things. And what's funny is the scribble that is on the top right-hand side of the planet is roughly, not perfectly, Miss Bennett, my name, written in Arabic, because my students are adorable and teach me things, and I thought it would be fun to include it, because it fit in with the rest of the languages. So, that was fun. We have, again, another dark ink wash, and I feel pretty successful about this one. I feel like the locator symbol on the planet could be a little more obvious with all the background, but I'm wanting to include different textures and stuff and not pure straight black and white. Third one this time around, we have Disgusting. Our guys have found the planet and have landed and have found that the mineral they need grows in these like goo pools as like black orbs. So they are digging around, getting as many as they can. We have our platypus in the foreground, covered in goo, and searching for things. And in the background, we have our echidna loading up the spaceship. I have to say, in the next couple ones this week, I drew the spaceship at a lot of different angles. And I love it. And once all this is over, I'm really, really tempted to sit down and 3D model. Maybe not just the spaceship, but the characters too. For fun. Does that sound fun? Am I crazy? Sounds fun to me. But here we have them loading up their stuff. I really like the value balance in this one. I think it's pleasing. You've got dark and light, and I feel like it's pretty clear what's going on. So this is one of the primal prompts, and it was infected, and for some reason I had been thinking infectious, which is where my theme kind of comes together a little clearer. But this is my childhood television, and when I was little, I always loved Jurassic Park. You know, I thought it was cool. My brother had Jurassic Park toys. I'd always play with them. But my whole feeling towards dinosaurs really became solidified when I learned about Mary Anning. My mom was very, very picky on, I should like girl things, and I fought her on that hard. She'd often say, like, no one wants to marry a she-woman or a he-woman. So I had a lot of issues with that, and I still kind of do. But the fact that a girl had discovered dinosaurs was like the powers that be giving me permission to like dinosaurs. And that was really important for me. So the point of this art is I got, infected with dinosaur fever. I know it's a stretch, but I like it, and it, feels important to me. Next, we have Slippery, and because he was already in the disgusting goo, I thought it would be appropriate for our lovely platypus to be dropping some sort of device that I realize looks a lot like a Star Trek tricorder. But I think that's essentially what it is. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek lately, guys. Anyway, so Slippery. He drops his device. He looks startled. I think it's fun to have a zoom in after the zoom out we had previously. And yeah, another one with some nice value balance, I think. After Slippery, we have Dune. Now, this one I don't think is really clear at all, but I like the piece itself. The idea is that as the spaceship landed, it burned in the sand's glass in the sand. And I feel like you kind of get a path and kind of scorch marks, but I'm not sure it's clear as glass. Glass is really hard to do in something like this, at least what I've been able to figure out. But I do like showing our Echidna dude and as smaller because he's been huge and everything. I mean, except with the platypus when he's been in the distance, but proportionally, he comes off as a pretty big character compared to things. And I feel like this really brings together the size. And you've got the wing of the spaceship too, so that gives you a little bit more proportion, which is kind of cool. I do like the glass cracks, especially when I go over them in white. I think that's pretty successful. After that, we have armor, and we have this massive ancient robot armor thing coming out of the sand, and it's imposing and terrifying. But I'm really happy with like the glassy orbs and the textures. Again, we have the spaceship at an interesting angle, and yeah, it's big, and it's scary, and it is mildly reminiscent of the Breath of the Wild ancient armor set, because the way that helmet is shaped made me think of this head shape, and I liked it. So, and I wanted something very, very weird and alien-y. And I definitely did that with this, I think. It took a long time to go through all the texture, and I wish I had been a little more careful and made it straighter, but patience is not a virtue I have the most of. And then we have Outpost. There is the mini drawing off to the side, and again, another wonderful angle of the spaceship, and the robot as the spaceship escapes, and they find their way to another planet. This time it has black ground, which I felt like would be a fun flip around of what we'd had so far with the constant black sky. So, you know, contrast is fun and nice. And the spaceship comes in for a landing. You see tents, you see crystals, and you see a black ground. That was it for this week in particular. The story obviously continues to next week. We're going to meet another character, and I'm just going to keep trucking along. We are halfway there. Halfway through Inktober. Are you guys working on Inktober? What are you doing? How's it going? Have you had any problems with any of the prompts so far? Did you have as much trouble with teeth last week as I did last week? Anyway, until next time, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you specifically to my patrons, who have a million years of patience. Mom, Dad, Jamie, Hans, Kaze, and Cindy. And I will see everyone next week with even more Inktober. All right. Bye.